Happy Friday from Philly to wherever you are. And I'm Philly. Welcome to my kitchen. And I have a question for you. Have you ever gone to a restaurant and had something really delicious and you've just wondered, like, how can I recreate this at home? Well, tonight I'm going to share with you one of the recreations that I did after a restaurant visit that Hubs and I had a while back. And that was for a salmon curry dish. So when we went out to eat, I had ordered this, and I don't remember what it was called at the restaurant, but in essence, it was quite a spicy curry, I will add. And it had salmon in it, and it was in this bowl, so you had this delicious coconut spicy, Thai broth. And then on top of this perfectly cooked salmon, there were these little matchstick cut vegetables. And it was just such a flavorful experience, and it was a delight to eat. And I knew I wanted to try to recreate it at home. And one of the things I never considered, to be honest, was salmon in curry. Like I think I'd done some whitefish and of course done shrimp, seafood-wise, but I had never done salmon. And that was kind of where it opened it up to me that was a possibility. So tonight we are cooking fish. And so if you don't care for fish, you could always substitute this for chicken. You could always use chicken in this. And if you just don't like the fishy fish, you could always put a milder fish in there as well as shrimp. Shrimp would also be lovely. In fact, probably scallops. So there's a lot of things that you could substitute. In fact, that's one of the things we'll be talking about tonight is all the different substitutions. So one of the things I wanted to let you know that I like about a lot of recipes is the fact that we really can make them their own. We can either use what we have in the fridge or what we most like ourselves, or what our family most likes themselves. So while you might not prefer the exact choices I'm making, as long as you're interested in the flavor profile, please, I hope you feel free to substitute what suits you, because in the end, it'll be a perfect dish for you and your home. So let's get started. Welcome to the stream. Hi, Edith. Hi, Barbara. Happy Friday. Are you all glad it's the end of the week? I know where we are, actually all the three of us are, it is kind of gloomy, and I did not wear a hat to work, but after a rainy day of going inside, outside the building, I was already having a bad hair day. I decided to don the hat for this stream. So, and I got comfortable, and that's just how it's gonna roll tonight. So I think that my dinner will actually be fancier than what I'm wearing, but you know what? That's Friday for us, because we're just gonna have a kind of cozy in-home Friday meal, and I hope you guys will enjoy it. So, and I also hope you've had a good week. So to get started, the actual dish cooks pretty quickly, and in fact, we'll be cooking the salmon in the air fryer, although you could definitely cook it in a pan. The only reason I'm going to be cooking in the air fryer is really to control my pan situation, and I know Hubs loves that very much because he is here and he will be helping me clean the dishes. So cheers to you. I decided to have a little bit of white wine because why not? It's Friday. And a white wine would be great with this too. I actually didn't have any white wine left, so I put in a rosé. A rosé would be lovely with this. So this is a Thai curry, and there's a couple different ways you can go about it. And what I love about this recipe is that it's so flexible to your taste, what you have on hand. And one of the things I had to be very flexible with myself today is I thought, and any of you, Barbara and Edith, I know you're a little newer to this, but Barb, you know this happens with me a lot. I thought I had something, and then I didn't. So I thought I had red curry paste, and I'd forgotten that I'd used the last of my red curry paste. So I went to the store today, and that's a whole story in of itself because, well, let me pause and continue with this part. And they did not have any red curry paste, and I was so sad. But they had a green curry paste, but I already had green curry paste. So where you get your curry paste and who makes it might be different depending upon where you live. I know Thai Kitchen is a popular one, but the ones I've always gotten were these little cans, and this one says, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, Masri, and this is a green curry. So I usually make this with red curry, but guess what? Today we're going to do green curry, and we'll see how it is. Now, I have had green curry, and that's why I have it in my pantry. I like green curry. I've just, for whatever reason, I think because at the restaurant I had it in red curry, that's what I've always gone to. So what I would tell you is even with your curry, you can be flexible. So I am going to use my green curry since I'm out of red, and I'll let you know what my thoughts are because I've made this with red. But I do like a green curry too, so they're both yummy. So I was wondering how familiar you both were with Thai curry. One of the things I like, oh, hey, Johnny. Hola, happy Friday. Good to see you, Chris. We were just talking about curry, and I was telling him that it was supposed to be made with red curry, but I realized too late that I did not have red, I only had green. But one of the things I love about curry paste is in your can or in your jar, whoever you're getting it from, is just like all of these yummy flavors that have been chopped and put together for ease and give you instant lift and instant flavor. The other thing I will tell you is that the way I had it at the restaurant was spicier than I'm going to make it today because, and while I thoroughly enjoyed my meal, I also feel like for spice, it should suit our moods, right? So sometimes we might be up for a real spicy meal, and then sometimes we might want to kind of dial it back. So for today, I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of this curry, but you could use more or less depending on your taste. And what Hubs and I will try to do is give you a, I'm usually shoot for like medium, but we'll let you know if this was with the green indeed around medium. So we'll give you a heads up with that. But I just love that there's so much flavor in these little cans and jars that just enable you to do so much. So the ingredients we're going to be needing, just to let you know, is we are going to need some curry paste. It'll be green today. We also need the iconic coconut milk. I usually use light. Don't hate me. I'm always trying to save calories as long as it doesn't affect the taste and texture that I am looking for. Light curry milk is a little bit lighter. It's not going to be quite the mouthfeel that regular coconut milk, but Hubs and I are used to it. We like it. I get the full one out at home. That's just what I cook with, and it doesn't feel like I'm saving. So if you prefer the full fat, go for it. But we always get the light. Just make sure and shake it before you use it so that everything kind of gets mixed together. Whoopsie. We're also going to need some fish sauce. That's going to help flavor it. If it really bothers you, because I know fish sauce can be really off-putting for some people, then you could always leave it out, and you could always add a little bit more if you want a little bit more of the taste. In there, we're also going to be having some garlic. We're going to have some ginger, brown sugar. Of course, we're going to have some fish, and I'll tell you about that in a second. And then to round out, it's really whatever vegetables you're going to be adding in there. So it's really a simple dish. Thai basil, I find very difficult to get unless I get to the Asian food market. So that's the only place I can find that. So if you don't have Thai basil or you don't have an Asian food market nearby, you could use regular basil or cilantro. So tonight, because I was not able to get to the Asian food market, I'm just going to use basil. So, but sometimes I use cilantro. It really depends. Either one, it's nice at the end to give it a little bit of herbiness. And one thing I forgot to put down in my recipe below, I realized, was lime. I like to, on my curries, I like a little squirt of citrus. Usually it's lime. I just feel like it brightens the whole dish at the end. So that I will be adding, and I'll be adding it down below. As always, my recipe is down below. I do not have a test kitchen. So this is not, usually for most like real chefs, they sit there and say, oh, this has been tested 25 times or whatever. This is not. But I also love it because this recipe I feel like is very flexible. So you can kind of move in and out it and really suit it to your taste. So we do have some prep to do. So we're going to get started. The first thing I'm going to do is prep my vegetables just so everything's ready to go, mise en place. And in fact, I don't know, Chris, if it was you or maybe if it was Daniel that showed a picture of mise en place. Mise en place just means getting everything ready so that it's ready to go. A lot of Asian cooking cooks pretty quickly, so you just want to have all of the ingredients set to go so that you just have to kind of throw in and put in where you need to. Oh, your Whole Foods. So yes, I used to go, we have a Whole Foods in the city, we have 2. Because we have this nearby market, it's a smaller market, but has even better prices than Whole Foods and gets a lot of those great specialty items, including like an array of mushrooms that I can't believe is right around the corner from me. They actually don't carry Thai basil, which is a bummer. They carry mint, rosemary, thyme, chives, cilantro, parsley. I carry all the other ones. I don't carry Thai basil. So yes, so I would use Thai basil. That would be traditional for this, for sure. But in any event, so I'm going to prep things. So basically, I want things to kind of be smallish and pretty and similar. So these two will definitely be similar, and I'm going to do something a little different to my asparagus. Now, I don't traditionally put asparagus in this, but it's spring, and I was in the market today, and I was looking at my vegetable options, and I was like, this is fresh, local asparagus. I'm going to do asparagus. So typically what I use are sugar snap peas. Sometimes I've used snow peas. Sometimes I've used broccolini. I'm trying to think what else I've put in here. Green beans, you know, because I like it to be colorful. I like a little red, a little orange, a little green. I mean, we eat with our eyes and eat a rainbow, all that good stuff. So there's a pepper I've already used this week. So what I want to do with this pepper, whoopsie, don't want my carrot there, is I basically just want to cut this into strips that are pretty thin. And so depending on your knife skills, this might be more challenging for some than others. I am by no means a superb, you know, knife skills person, but I'm gonna just do the best I can. So just watch your fingers. It's never worth cutting yourself. So I'm just gonna get thin slices of this red pepper. So what's everyone cooking tonight? And eat it. Please tell me you're not on the side of the road. I think that's what you told me, and I'm like, dear God, I want her safe. So that worried me just a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Then for my carrots, I'm going to use my lovely julienne peeler, which I think makes julienning so much easier. I do not have a mandolin. I've told this story. One of my friends really hurt herself on one, so I'm terrified to get one. And so I use different tools. So this one, what you just do is you kind of go across it like a vegetable peeler, and then you can cut these, and it makes them beautiful little julienne strips. So that's what we're going to do tonight. And it does it quite quick. I've seen people do this much more quickly, but I have cut myself so many times being a cook that I just learned, like, maybe not go so fast and maybe have less wounds. So that kind of sounds good, especially on a Friday. After getting my Shingrix vaccine, I need nothing else, no other malaise for me, because that was enough. Oh my goodness, that knocked my socks off, and not in a good way. Oh, you made it home in time. That's wonderful. So what are you eating tonight? Come on, I need to find out from my friends what they're munching on this evening. Sometimes we just get, you know, pizza. In fact, that's what we did last weekend. That was wonderful. There's also a local place that we can get a great burger or just bar food at. So Fridays tend to not be fancy nights for us. Sometimes we just do takeout. A lot of times I don't cook because I've cooked all week. But I did a stream. And it's funny, the stream has probably encouraged me to cook more on Friday nights than typical. So, because it just kind of, I don't know, it zhuzhes it up a little bit. Ugh. I know. I don't know if you heard Hub's grunch there. He hates that word that I use. All right, so you can see, look, I've just made these into wonderful little julienne strips. There's probably more than we're going to need. I can save some for a salad. Because basically what I'm looking to do here is just prepare enough to be putting on each of our pieces of salmon. So these will be getting sauteed with the curry, getting all the yummy flavors. This is going to cook quickly because everything's quite small. And because of that, I'm going to make sure my asparagus get cut quite small. So I've already washed them. These are some local asparagus. I'm going to first just cut the tips off because they're tender and they're small. And then I'm going to take them and I'm just going to kind of cut them in kind of smallish pieces. And I'm going to make sure I stop when they start getting a little bit woody. That one seemed a little woody. Yep, that one's getting woody. You can tell with your knife when, I know there's a break test and people like talk all the time about that on social media, but you can also feel it through your knife. And then of course you don't have to throw these away. I'm going to throw these away, but you can also save them for stock. Now the other thing that I will say, I just wanted to share, because I love sharing tips because I get so many tips from other people. But one of the things I do, this is the asparagus I bought. Whenever I buy asparagus, as you know, in most stores it's sitting in water. And so what I do, as soon as I get the asparagus, I take, it's all like it's in its rubber bands. I chop off a part of the woody ends. I put it into water. I cover it with the bag that I got it in. And then I put this in the fridge just like this. And it keeps, and it just stays so much fresher. It doesn't dry out until I can use it. So that's a good tip. That's the way I do asparagus. So let me put that away. I'm realizing my voice sounds a little hoarse, and I'm not really sure why. I've had terrible allergies this year, and it's resulted in a little cough that I got before I got the Shingrix vaccine. Then I got that. Oh my gosh, it's been one of those. I think, are we still there? Okay. Oh goodness, sorry about that. If you're just joining us, we had a little bit of a technical difficulty. I kind of went out, and I think I'm back in. So sorry about that. All of a sudden I saw on the screen that I watch, it was spinning, 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 which I know is never a good sign. And I look, and I was reading all these wonderful comments from y'all, and I looked, and I was like, it says not able to connect. So we're connected, which is good. Hopefully that won't happen again. But anyways, and hi DS, welcome. So I was just asking about people's dinners tonight. And hi Ruby, by the way. Make cauliflower pizza never again. Oh, I'm so sorry. I did hear, was it Whole Foods? Trader Joe's. I saw on social media that Trader Joe's has a gluten-free, fresh, it's either fresh or frozen pizza dough, but it's like, I think it's fresh because it's like in a bag. That's my niece, who also is gluten-free like my sister. She said is really good. So I know it's different than cauliflower pizza, but if you want to try that, and I think Chris, you know, I know you watch, but I don't know if that would matter because I know you might not do gluten sometimes, but I think it's more about Whole30, if I'm right. But let me just see what everyone else said. And Marcy's been busy working on and off, doing errands. Let me see what else everyone had to say. And DS, again, hello to you and Ruby. Edith said oh no, I'm frozen again. By the way, when that happened the last time, could you still hear me? Because this does not look good. Oh wait, maybe I pressed pause. That's what I did. Okay, never mind. Ugh. I see I was moving around on my screen and I thought I messed up our thing. Anyway, Edith said, picked up dumplings. Great small place here called the Dumpling Den. They have all kinds of dumplings and scallion pancakes. Oh my gosh, scallion pancakes. Those are phenomenal too. I love both of those things, but those are a treat, like a true treat. And everyone's saying hello. Wonderful. Oh my goodness. Great seeing you all. And carbs, yes. So I wasn't sure, at Whole30, is that no carbs, or is what you're doing is just avoiding carbs, Chris? Let's see. Gotcha. Okay, and Barb too. And honestly, you know, when we're trying to lose weight, we cut the carbs also. It's a quick, easy way, you know, to do that. So speaking of which, I did want to tell you while I'm getting my garlic ready. I already have my minced ginger. You absolutely, oh, I forgot to get it out. I did get it out. Whoops, I digress. You can use fresh. And I don't need anyone telling me, but I do use this because it makes it easy. And again, as I said, you know, I all love watching the kitchen. Oh my gosh, I was so tickled this week when Sunny retweeted my tweet. Like that just made my whole year. Little old me, I was like, what the heck? Anyways, but GZ, who's like fancy chef, he was like, this is good. I can understand using this. So if we use it, I think it's good. And there's our lime. But I digress. So I'm going to get some garlic ready, and it's like about a teaspoon. I don't know if it's definitely a teaspoon. Like I just put general measurements down there, but use what you like for sure. And I'm going to use my microplane for it. You certainly could just mince it with a knife, but I just find that oftentimes if I'm wanting it small, the microplane is just so much easier. So I just kind of prefer to do that. But I'm going to talk because we are going to be having a little bit of a carb with this today. You could, if you wanted a carb and you wanted it to be a little, I don't know, just more filling, you could always have some basmati rice or jasmine rice to have with it. However, we are going to do something a little bit different. You could also do cauliflower rice if you were wanting that texture but didn't want the calories. We're going to do something a little fancy, that's quick and fancy, with rice noodles. And I've done it before in my channel, and that's what we're going to be having. And we're going to make it look fancy, but I want to show you 2 ways, because depending upon what you have, whoopsie, or is accessible for you in the kitchen might change what you want to do. So I'm going to just get this. Come on.
Can I ask where you got this recipe?
I don't think they can hear, though.
Well,
Okay, so Hubs just asked where I got the recipe. And I thought it was at Mistral in Princeton, because we eat there often. Like, we've eaten there at least, I think, 3 times. And I think it was one of the meals I had there.
so that's where it was.
Can you say hi?
Hello?
So, alrighty. So we've got everything all set. So let's talk about our carb. So you all good?
I think so.
You good? Okay. So what we're going to
Are
do,
you delayed?
it's been all funky. It's always delayed a little bit there, though.
Huh. There we go.
All right. So what we're going to do is with the new toy that isn't new, but I used finally for the first time on my first stream.
Was that a convection?
So my little snippet of my figuring out whether it was convection or conduction, because when you're all of a sudden online with live streaming, you forget words. You forget your words. My conduction hot plate, or whatever you want to call it, in any event, we're going to use this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use, and by the way, as I've said with conduction, you have to make sure that you have iron so that it will conduct and be magnetic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some canola oil to this. And we are going to fry some rice paper and some rice sticks. And that is what we're going to be putting on our salmon bowls.
Fancy.
Yeah, we are having fancy. And plus it's so fast. So you do not have to do this step, but this is what we're going to do. Wait, why is it locked? 1 second, friends. This is new to me. Well, I know this one works because... Okay, 1 second, friends. Oh, that was not a good sound. Oh, I just blew my finger. Shoot. Okay. Why was that doing that? Looks like it's the lock. Okay, I pressed lock by mistake. New toys, see? We got to learn how to do them. We've only used this once. There we go. So I'm going to get this on high. And of course, this thing goes just instantly high, which is amazing to me. And I'm just putting a layer of oil down below. And this is going to heat up pretty quick. And then what we're going to do is we're going to quick fry some noodles. So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do, the rice paper that are usual rounds. In fact, I'll show you with one whole one. Or you can do them in sections. But what we're going to do also is we're going to make a little bit of these rice sticks, which are vermicelli rice noodles, because those are they get really fun looking when they kind of blow up. So that's what we're going to do for our meal today. So I'm just showing you this more as if you're ever feeling a little adventuresome or fancy, you could try this. So not for nothing. There we go. Just a little fancy for this Friday. Even though I'm looking like I could care less with what I'm wearing because I want to be comfy tonight, we're going to be a little fancy. So meanwhile, I'm warming this up. I'm going to bring the camera around here when it's time so that you can see this all happen. I'm going to get out wait a second here.
Is that a chopstick?
Sorry. I'm going to get out 1 chopstick because that'll help me see if my oil is warm enough. You can use a thermometer also. And these are going to, and I need my plate where it's going to, there we go. And Yes said hi.
Hi, yes.
Yes, yes, it is humid, and it was a rainy day. And Marcy said, I heard cauliflower is delicious, better than eating rice. It is. Rice is really heavy and hard to digest. Absolutely. Yes, it uses magnets. This one uses magnets for sure. And those are tulips. They are actually on their last legs for sure. So I'm going to bring y'all over here for a second, just so you can see. Let me turn this down first so it's facing the right way.
It is amazing how quickly that heats.
Yeah. Okay, watch out, babe, your foot. Okay, so just right there so you can see. So one of the things, if I put this in, if it starts bubbling up around it, it shows it's ready. So it was a little slow to bubble, so it's not quite ready yet, because this does go quick, but it wasn't quite ready. So I'm going to give it a little bit more time, just another minute or so. Let's see.
So you're doing
Oh, there it is. Okay, it's just on the edges. Okay, so I'm seeing where. Okay, I'm just going to give it one more minute.
So you're doing this with salmon. What else would you do this with? You might have already
Yeah, we
talked
talked about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite fish?
I'd have to think about that. I don't know if I have a favorite. I really like all sorts of fish. It depends on my mood. It depends on my mood. What's your favorite fish? Okay, wait, before you answer that. So I'm going to get our first one in. So like I said, you could use a whole one, which we will show because that's a nice ta-da. The other thing you can do is you can cut them into smaller pieces. Let me show you how you can do that. And then they make really nice little crackers. So if I cut this, oh, well, that one's not cutting well, but let's just pretend it did. Because watch, if you cut them into little pieces, it fries them up like super quick. Now look how quick that goes. Look, and it's done. It's done. And we'll put that one in. We'll put that one in. Look how quick those are. Super, super quick. Okay? So the other one I'm going to do is I got to show you the big ta-da because that one's just fun. Look at that. Like that is so cool. Now it didn't quite get all done, so that's not cool. So we want to make sure we tap that down so they all get, see how like some of that, if you see that it hasn't gotten white, then it didn't quite get, which isn't super cool. So I need to try to get that in. And that one didn't all go. It actually worked better in the wok. Remember when we did this in the wok before?
I don't.
Okay, so let me put
trust
those.
you, though.
Now, this is what I want to put on top of our stuff because these will make like a little nest. So let me go put, and again, the thing is I want to make sure I can get it to stay down. So, okay, and you turn on the other side. And even if you have to tip your pan a little bit to make sure you get everything, there you go.
Think you need more oil? Looks like it's sopping it all up.
There we go. Okay. And you know what? I think that'll be good because I think that'll be good for us to divide between both of us. Let me just get a little bit more of that section. Excellent. All right, there we go. So that's what we'll use on top of our fish. And we can turn that off now. We'll be using this a little bit later. You can see some of them got a little brown, and you don't actually need them that brown. Let me just give this a second, move that over. And then what I was going to do to season them, just put that there. Yeah, you can see you actually want them to just be white. You want to be super quick when you're frying them.
I just didn't want that to go on the computer.
It's okay. I'm going to put, this one got a little oily, so I'm going to put that one over there. That's a fail for me because I don't really want it to be oily. Like those pieces are going to be too oily, but these are nice. So then what you do is I made a little mixture here. Of, it was, let me think what I did. It was coriander, it was turmeric, and what was the other one I did? A little bit of ginger, and then I put a little bit of hot red pepper in there. I actually used Korean red pepper flakes because that's what I had, as well as some salt, and then we're going to sprinkle that on top. So I'm going to bring you back around. So again, this is not a must thing. This is not what the restaurant did. The restaurant, I don't think it came with anything. I think it just came with the vegetables on top. And we had, I'm sure, an appetizer, so it was totally fine. But I kind of wanted to show you some options. But if you are making these, it is nice to season them a little bit. In fact, at the restaurant Mistral, they actually do that. They serve these rice paper crisps, as like a little thing for your table. They just put them on the table once you get there. So, Hubs, do you want to come taste one of the ones that are cracker-like?
Sure.
Okay. Come over here. Ooh. Oh, that's good. Kind of floral with those that I put in there. With a little heat of that pepper. Ooh. Very nice. So we'll sprinkle these on top.
That's good.
And this I can put, yeah. Well, I put a little salt in there because I wanted to make sure we had some salt. But you could just go spicy. The other thing, when I done this a while ago, I think I was doing a whole rice paper stream. The other thing you can do is that spicy ramen, that seasoning pack, if you don't use it, like if you fix the ramen another way, which a lot of people do, they'll kind of put their own spin on it. That spicy pack is delicious, sprinkled on those rice crackers. Also, furikake is really good on that too. So there's lots of good things you can do with that. All right, so now we're gonna get started with the main part of the meal. Now let me check the chat. Let's see how everyone's doing. And we'll put these until the end. All right, let's see here. What did I miss? So Chris says, I can't watch TV in the reflection of the oven now. And then, oh, DS says, why aren't you using the stove? Well, so one of the reasons I asked for this from our youngest, he wanted a Christmas idea. And I asked him for that. And the reason, DS, was so that I didn't have to always turn my back. So I thought it would be nice to have an element that I could sometimes use that was right here in front of my audience. And that way could be easy to kind of have them come see the food. And then have that work the way. It worked really well with the wings that night because I did the sauce here. And that way I felt like it kept us all a little connected more than dragging everything back to the oven or the stove and all that. Sometimes we will use the stove still, especially when there's multiple things happening. But if it's just like a couple things happening, this I thought would be kind of nice to use. So good question. And then Shannon, hey. Oh, yes, salmon, absolutely. So let's talk about the salmon, speaking of which. Okay, so let me show you the fish we have today. So the fish we have today looks just like salmon, but it's actually steelhead trout. So if you all saw the crudo that, oh, I forgot to put do not disturb. Oh, that's yours. So we get connected with our calls and someone's calling my husband, but I get notified of it. So I made a steelhead trout crudo the other week. And this I ended up, so I got this fresh trout that looks like salmon. I'll show you.
Hey, Tom.
You can see.
Good. What's going on?
Make sure you don't have your microphone on. Just making sure of that. But in any event, so it looks just like salmon, but it's actually trout, and it's a trout similar, from what I was reading about it, to a rainbow trout that's just gotten really big. And there's a nearby seafood place that we have been getting our seafood from lately, and this was so fresh. When I opened up to divide it and get some frozen and use some for the crudo the other week, I said to Hubs, I opened it up, and I don't know the last time that I truly opened up seafood where there was literally no smell. I mean, I never eat smelly seafood, but usually there's like some little odor. This was exactly what they talk about. Had no, like you sniffed it, nothing. It was delightful, and the crudo was fabulous. So this is what I have, and that's why I talk about this recipe. You need to use what you have on hand. But when I first had this recipe, it was with salmon. And honestly, I feel like after having the crudo, I think this is a richer, because it's a bigger fish, it gets bigger, it has a richer taste to it than just regular trout, but not as rich as salmon, if that makes sense. But this will be a great fish for the recipe. So this is ready to go. The only thing we'll do right before we get this ready in our air fryer is we are going to dry it off. So let's do that now, get it dried off and set. And like I said, the only reason I'm doing the air fryer today is because of managing dishes for Hubs for dinner tonight. So you definitely could pan fry it where you just, if I was pan frying it, I would start it on the skin side, then, you know, I don't know, for about 3 minutes, I'd flip it to the other side for about 3 minutes and cook it till you like it. We like our salmon, if possible, around medium, but not everyone, or not salmon, our fish, not all fish, but like meatier fishes like this. We like it around medium, especially if it's one like this that is sashimi ready or sushi grade, whatever they call that. However, so I don't want to overcook this, but I will be doing it in the air fryer just for ease tonight. Okay, and it does save a little bit on the fat, to be honest. So let's get that dried off because you do want your fish dry, and then it'll be all set to go. And I'll get some foil for that to go on. So the other thing I was going to say is I prefer eating, I'm not a big fish skin person. So even if it's crispy, I've tried it. There's been a few that I haven't minded, but I'm just not a huge fan of fish skin. So that's all to say that if you're a fan of fish skin, you can do your fish with the skin on, and you can enjoy it as part of your meal. That's just not my jam personally. So that's not kind of how I prepare it. Now, I find it very difficult to get skin off my fish myself. It's kind of comical watching me try to do that. I'm not gonna lie. In fact, if anyone here on this watching has any tips, because I've got some experts here, please let me know. I would be so happy to hear some tips that can help me be better getting my fish skin off. I saw something the other day, it said pour boiling water on the skin, and then I thought, well, won't that cook the fish a little bit? I don't know. I had a lot of questions. Like if I was doing it for crudo, I definitely wouldn't want to put boiling water on it. So I was just wondering what you all thought of that. In any event, what we're going to do is I'm going to cook it with the skin, and then usually what I do is after it's cooked, it's much easier removing from the skin. But please, if you guys have tips, I'm definitely all ears. So first thing I want to do is I want to get it dried off. So I'm just taking my fillets, drying them off, putting them here.
Sorry for the noise on the telephone call.
That's okay. Did you turn off your microphone?
No, I turned it back on.
No, I meant, but you did turn off.
I did.
Because I was like, I thought that would be fun. Get a whole nother conversation. So both of these are set to go. All right. And now I'm just going to put some salt and pepper on there. There's so much flavor that's going to go in the sauce that I really don't want anything to compete with that. And let me check the chat. I will have to tell you that, this is one of the reasons I don't like frying in my house. Like all I smell right now is like the fry. and I was watching someone saying about how, as long as you're using clean oil, there won't leave any smell. And I was like, that is absolutely a bold-faced lie. Because anytime I've used fresh oil, it still has that fry smell. Okay, so I'm just going to salt and pepper these. Now let me check the chat. And I'm going to put these back in the fridge so they're ready to go in once we start cooking and I'm going to just, you know what? I'm going to use an olive oil on that. Oh, nope, I'm going to use my regular oil on that. Okay, so I'm just going to spray it with a little oil since they're going in the air fryer. Again, you could do this in a pan, just giving it a quick pan fry, cooking it to the way you like your fish cooked. Again, we like it medium. I don't like dry fish, not at all. And I feel like the meaty fishes, if they're dry, like you can tell, they have a horrible texture in my opinion. I mean, to each their own, but that's just how I feel about it. So let me take this, put this back in the fridge until we're ready to go. All right, whoops, just a second here. We have a little bit of a fridge problem. Too much stuff. I mean, that never happens with me. Okay, let's see what y'all are saying. Eugenia, it's so wonderful to have you here. welcome to the stream. Let's see what let's see here. Okay, so Shannon says, I peel the skin off after the fish is cooked. Yeah, that's what I do too, exactly. Do you like the skin? I mean, I know what, my mom loves crispy fish skin, but I've tried it. I don't know if I just get like in my head about it, but I just haven't really enjoyed it. And Chris says you put the skin side down on the cutting board and you cut the meat off with a knife. So I have so tried that. Chris, I think because I'm trying it, watching a video and then trying on my own, and there's no one really saying, oh, like it's not quite the right angle or whatever. I've not done well with it. It's kind of failed miserably. Air fry queen, yes. Oh, Eugenia, oh my goodness. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm glad that you're back. How are you feeling? How are you recovering? Oh my goodness, you've had 2 strokes. And Dia says, what's in the bottle next to the air fryer? Oh, so this is the market we go to near here in Philly. It's called Riverwards. And they came out with an extra virgin olive oil that they had crafted for them. And it's, now if my eyes can help me, it's crafted exclusively from the, let me make sure I'm saying it right, Arbequina olive, celebrated for its aromatic fruitiness. This olive oil has a flavor profile that's bright, earthy, and immensely fresh. Versatile in its use, it's perfect choice for everyday cooking and finishing. So that's all. I use it for salad dressings and for like a final drizzle. It's delicious. So I was so excited when they came out with it and they told us all about it, you know, through an email, and I immediately got it, and it's delicious. And then Eugenia says, let's see here, feel good, almost recovered. Well, you take good care of yourself. And oh my goodness, we are all like praying for you, and if there's anything you need or just to want some giggles, let us know and we can send some funny stuff your way. And I'm glad you're on the mend. Oh my gosh. Absolutely. All right, so friends, okay, so let's get to our meal. We've got our mise en place, we've got our little crisps ready, and the only other thing we need to do is cook the salmon. It's set to go. It's going to go in the air fryer in a minute and get our sauce. So let's get this so you can see it. Yep, this is a good spot for it. Let me put my scissors away. And let's get this sauce going. So I've got my ingredients here. I'm going to get a couple cans open so they're ready to go. One of them is my curry and also my coconut milk. So let's get those cans open. Got my ginger, my fish sauce. And again, you want to shake the coconut milk because I found it comes sometimes in 2 parts, and eventually it's fine. But I just learned I try to shake that can. And it'll look like a hot mess when you open it up, but at least it gets it going. All right, and then, so again, it's going to be green Thai this time, but red Thai curry is what I've usually done, but I feel confident that this will be delicious. Oh, it smells so good. Yum, 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 yum. So it's like all this, it's wet inside, just herby, peppery, spicy, like just goodness there, just yumminess. All right, and then what else do I need? I need those. I need a little brown sugar. I need my lime for the end. And I think that's it. I think we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna get this heating up. So that's set to go. I'm gonna get my salmon back out of the fridge. So that's set to go, and we're gonna get this pan. I want to use this pan because you can see so much better. And I'm gonna bring you around for this because I do think it's kind of fun to see a little closer up. So I'm gonna first bring you, there we go, a little closer up there so you can see more what's going on. Might not see my face, but that's not a bad thing. So there we go. Okay, so let's get this, we'll get this on like medium heat. And it's amazing how quick it goes. And for this, you could use a canola oil, but I want to use actually, a lot of times when I'm doing this kind of cooking, oh, I forgot to get it close and ready. I like to use my coconut oil. Oh, it's right there. There we go. It has just a slight flavor of coconuts, nothing major, but I like to use that. So I'm going to use about, I don't know, like a tablespoon or a teaspoon, whichever. That sounds good. It's about a tablespoon I put in there. When you're home cooking, you're just kind of throwing some in. But I know it's hard when people want recipes, so I forget what I put down there, but it's about a tablespoon. Okay, so it yells at you when you take it off. I don't know if you saw that. So we're going to let that warm up. Let that get going. There we go. So it's funny with the conduction, the one thing is it does like it to stay down, and I'm a mover. I'm a mover and shaker, so still getting used to that. Okay, so we're getting that going. And let's see what you're saying. Yes, absolutely, DS. It smells delicious. And Eugenia was talking about bok choy. Oh, I love bok choy. I agree, Chris. What are some of the other uses for coconut oil that you like? Okay, it feels ready. So now what I'm going to do is I usually use about half the can. So I'm just going to put like half the can, which is about 2 tablespoons of that. And get that going. Let me get my, there we go. You want to cook it. Get some of the flavors out. And then we're going to add some ginger. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because it's spitting at me. I'm telling you, this thing, it's amazing how. And I put about a teaspoon of ginger. Probably a little more. And then we have about a teaspoon of garlic. I could have had more garlic. I was a little stingy with the garlic. We're just wanting these flavors to brighten up and bloom, but we don't want them to burn. You want to watch your heat. You don't want the curry to burn. You just want it to bloom. Oh, it smells so good already. Already it's covered the smell of the oil. And I'm just going to let this bloom for a minute, and then we're going to start adding our veggies. Okay, so I'm going to start with my peppers and my asparagus. My carrots, they're so thin, they will cook so quick. So I'm starting with these first. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. So delicious. So we're just going to let those saute a little bit. And I think while those are cooking, I'm going to sprinkle the carrots on top. And I'm not going to use all those. I think that's a little too much. I'll save that for a salad. There we go. And so everything is just getting cooked. I do want to up the heat now that things have kind of been a moving and a grooving. I'm going to get my lime ready for when we're going to squeeze. My little segment ready for a final squeeze. There we go. So again, if this was a red curry, it would just have a different hue. This is taking off kind of like an olive green hue. There we go. And that is all set to go, so I'm going to get my salmon in there. Not my salmon, my steelhead trout. See, it's the visual thing. You look at it and it looks like salmon, so I'm even calling it salmon. And in my air fryer, I'm going to put this in for 5 minutes at 400 because I'd rather it kind of get a good sear on it And then I will check and see if I want any more time. Okay, now that these have had a chance to begin to soften, I'm going to be adding all of my coconut milk. And that way it can all come together. I know it looks like a bit of a mess right now, but trust me, it will all come together. I'm going to add my brown sugar. And for that, I think I put a teaspoon, but I think it was more like 2 teaspoons now that I'm looking at it. So I'm going to give 2 teaspoons to add a little bit of sweetness, kind of heaping. I might have to change my measurements. I hadn't made this in a while, and I don't know about you, when you do your home cooking, like I'm not making measurements. I'm kind of going by what looks right. So I knew that when I was making this, I was going to have to do it and see what looked right. Okay, here we go. So we got our sugar in there. And then we're going to put our fish sauce in there. Now, not everyone loves fish sauce, so you do to your pleasure. I would put anywhere from 1 to 2 teaspoons in there, so we like fish sauce, so I'm going to put 2 teaspoons in there. If you're really averse to fish sauce, you can just leave it out. It just adds another layer of flavor and saltiness to it. There we go. All right. So what we want to do is we want to get this to a simmer. We don't want to have it come to a boil because a lot of times coconut milk, it can separate, so you just want to avoid that happening. I'm going to put my curry sauce over here. Make sure I haven't forgotten anything. I did my ginger, my lime ready. And of course, I'm going to want to taste and check for seasoning. Let's make sure. There we go. Let's see. Lots of miso soup. Oh, you have steelhead in the freezer. That's wonderful. What do you like to do with the steelhead, Eugenia? Well, how do you like to fix it? Oh, that smells so good. I'm going to do a little taste, just see how we're going. Oh. Oh, that's good. So I would say, and we'll see what Hubs thinks once he does the taste of the dish. I feel like it's above a medium, but it's more with a half. It's like so curries sometimes have this heat that kind of, in my opinion, flashes unless they're like really up there. If you add a lot more curry to it, where it's going to do more than a flash. So for me, it gives a flash of heat, but then totally like calms down. So maybe a 6. But some people that might be heat averse, they might be like, it might feel like a 7 for a second, but it like literally goes away like that. So if you wanted it more of a 5, I would say use maybe 1.5 tablespoons, or just use 1 tablespoon. If you're worried about it, just use 1 tablespoon. You know, it's really to your taste. I feel like with things like curry, and other spices or other flavorings, you know, start small and see how they go for you to your taste, and then go from there. All right. Let me get another taste. See how we're doing. Oh, that's good though. I mean, as I was mentioning, I really do. I think it's a 6 or 7. I really do. I think it's a 6 or 7. Even though it dissipates, I think for other people's comfort level, if you do half a can of one of the small cans, I think it's a 6 or a 7. So, oh, we got a little high. So it started boiling, so I didn't want to separate. There we go. And we'll keep it at 2 because it's simmering nicely. So once our salmon's done, we can plate this up and we can be ready. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, and it's even still simmering in it too. Okay. There we go. I think all the seasoning's right. Like in this, I swear you cannot taste the fish sauce. That's what's so wonderful about fish sauce. It really adds something, but you can't quite place it. The other thing I need to make sure is that we have, oh yes, that's perfect. I'm not cooking that anymore because I don't, again, we want the medium. Basil, I need my basil. So again, you could use, if you can get Thai basil, get that. You also could use cilantro, is nice. It's just a little different flavor. And if you don't like cilantro, then don't use that because I know not everyone is a cilantro fan. I like to use the whole leaves. I mean, I definitely like to chop my basil, but there's other times I just like to use the whole leaves. It just gives a different kind of taste and texture. So I'm just looking, I don't want the really big ones, but I want kind of medium-sized ones. Of course, it doesn't really matter which kind you put in there, but I'm just saying for my purposes right now. Let's see here. A couple of these. Nice. Okay, that should be good. And I'm just going to throw these in. Okay, there we go. And then we'll do the squeeze of lime once it's actually in the bowl. Okay. So I'm going to turn this off, and I'm going to move this over. Now I want to get all our stuff ready to assemble. So again, this is not the curry I was anticipating making. I was anticipating making the red curry. It's a green curry, but it will be delicious. And then let me show you how I get the salmon, the skin off. I'll put it right back on this plate. Not salmon, the steelhead. I'll tell you, visually, it's always a mess. Okay.
How are you liking your new convection oven?
I'm still getting used to it. I feel like I'm still getting used to it. But I like it, its convenience for sure.
You didn't catch that I said convection.
I know, I was ignoring you. I was ignoring hubs. So then it's so easy once you know, once it's cooked, it just slides right off. Like you saw how easy that knife goes under. But Chris, had you heard about the whole boiling water thing, which I have many problems with, but I was wondering if you'd heard of that technique. That was a new one to me. Again, I had so many questions. All right, so what I like to do is I'd like to place my salmon in the bowl. So let me get a nice fish. So get the salmon in the bowl. Ah, trout, old habits. My goodness, friends, why am I still calling it salmon? The trout. Get a little bit of fish that was still there. Okay, get that in the bowl. And you don't have to have this in a bowl. It is nice to have the lip though because of the sauce. You know, I like this. I like all the broth. When I had this at the restaurant, it was in a bowl. And I liked that about it. I liked that it had that whole broth there. So if you want to get fancy, what I would say is get a serrated spoon, and we're going to take these yummy veggies, and we're going to adorn them on top so it looks all pretty. And again, you know, there's so many different variations you can use for these vegetables that I mentioned, from green beans to snow peas, you know, just so many different things. Bok choy would be nice. We were talking about bok choy earlier. It really depends what you got. Now this is funny how I like to have evenness, and certain veggies were all going on the one. Now the restaurant I know did not completely cover my fish with veggies, but we like veggies here, and I know that was for show. I'm covering them because we're going to eat them. So you do you, for sure. All right, and then you're going to take this beautiful broth, and you're just going to get that into the bowl. And then it's just sitting in that yummy broth. There you go. A little bit more. So it looks almost like a soup, but it's not a soup. Although I do think we need to put spoons there so that we can slurp up that yumminess. And I also need to clean up a little bit here. Do the chefy thing and tidy up these bowls because I was a little sloppy getting them plated. And then I would like to put just a little bit of fresh basil on top. Again, if it was Thai, you could do that with Thai, just a little fresh. And then a little squeeze of lime. Kind of brightens it up. And let me show you. There you go. So it doesn't look as pretty as the restaurant, I'll be first to say. Oh my gosh, I forgot our noodles. The big ta-da. Ha. Can't forget the noodles. Let me take that back. Let me do this. There we go. Making like a little nest on top. And those will be good in the broth too. Okay, now let's take a look at that. There you go. So there is our Thai salmon bowl. This is our Thai curry salmon bowl. This time it's a green curry, but certainly the way I've usually had it is a red curry, but either would make it delicious. And I'm going to, Hubs, will you come over here while I get a picture with your camera of this, please?
Sure.
And then we'll taste each of ours. I'll bring the forks over. So I'm going to get a picture. Camera,
So
can I have your phone?
it's right there.
Oh, I didn't know it was right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the, what was the restaurant you think?
I thought it was Mistral
Mistral, that's right.
that we had been at.
Great restaurant.
And Princeton's, I'm going to actually take both in case one takes better pictures. What's your favorite restaurant in Princeton? Princeton, New Jersey is not too far from us here in Philly, and it was a favorite place of us to go to. They have such amazing food.
Yeah, there's, I like some of Jack Morrison's places are good. Witherspoon.
Yep, that's a
Witherspoon
good
is
one.
good. You know, it looks like this is down, the camera. Can I?
Oh, yeah, you can put it back up. Could you put it back up? That was because I was having it. We'll look at the cooking. Thank you for noticing that. I appreciate that.
How do I do it?
Thank you for that, babe. Look at you helping me out.
You know, every once in a while.
Okay.
But Blue Point and some of his restaurants are good, and he's got the new French one up there too.
What's the French one called? I
can't
forget.
think what the name of it is. But Mistral's probably my famous or my favorite, and I
Is
did
your
not.
famous one?
I did not do a good job of that. Well, maybe I did. Actually, I think I did. I think it was just delayed.
You did okay?
Go stand there. There we go. Okay.
Here.
Wow.
Yeah, quite the ta-da.
It's fancy.
So first I think we should taste the broth.
I might taste that. Oh, broth.
Yeah, it's definitely a 7. I feel like it's actually gotten hotter since I tasted it last.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a 7.
Holy hell.
Yeah.
That's
It's not more than a 7 though.
yeah, but I don't know what I was expecting.
Okay, so now we're gonna try the fish.
What's the H mean?
Hot.
Oh. Cooked really.
It's actually not as hot with the fish, you know, because the fish kind of takes another And let me get some veggies.
Oh, man.
It's just decadent.
Well, you cooked the fish perfectly, too. That's really good.
That's so good. It's a little spicier than I was anticipating making it. It's been a while since I made this. This is why I thought the crackers actually be nice in that form, because you could kind of dip them in there. These are so good. I'm sorry, for a quick little fun snack for company.
So late.
They are so addictive. So stinking good.
So nice job on the fish. So like, I would say at least 50% of the time, anytime that she cooks salmon, you always yell about it being overcooked.
I'm just real fussy. And I'm hard on myself, wouldn't you agree? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hard on myself for sure.
And it's never overcooked. That's the craziest thing about it.
I disagree. I think it's overcooked to my standards. I like my fish the way I like my fish. For certain kinds, I don't want them overcooked. I don't like a dry fish.
Yeah, but it's, again, never dry.
Absolutely. So let me take a quick peek at what is coming up next, because I should have had that ready and I completely forgot. So let me get in front of Hubs. I apologize, my friend. Let me just go here so I can take a look at my schedule. The 19th, so next weekend on Sunday, we're doing a takeout try or buy. So there is a place called Mike's Barbecue here in the city. And I know we've done barbecue before. I think it was Z Barbecue or something like that. Remember the one place?
I do. I don't remember.
And it was outstanding. And that's the barbecue place that I kind of want to go back to. But I first met Mike on Instagram and followed him. And I think he follows me. And I'm like, I've got to try his stuff. His stuff looks legit great. And I've heard wonderful things about it. So that will be my next stream next weekend. A takeout try or buy, and it's going to be at lunchtime because he stops at like 5. So
it's going to be like a Saturday thing?
No, Sunday.
Oh,
it's
Sunday.
a Sunday lunch thing because I want to make sure we get what we want to get.
That's
cool. So it's a little bit different hours than it would usually be. So, oh my goodness. And Archie, welcome. And Joanne, welcome. Oh my gosh. So wonderful. Thank you. So, oh my gosh, so many great friends. Eugenia, first of all, I am so glad to have you back here, and please continue to rest up and get yourself better. And you know, all of us are going to be keeping you in our prayers. Thank you for letting us know what's been going on. And also Barbara and Edith and Chris and, wait, let me go up here so I can see everyone. DS. And I'm forgetting Shannon and Archie and Marcy. Almost forgot my Marcy. And I feel like I'm forgetting somebody else. And of course, Joanne too. Thank you guys so much for coming and saying hi to us at dinner time. And until we eat again, have a great weekend, friends. Enjoy yourselves. Have good food, good friends.
Yes.
Good Hubs. Bye, friends. Until next time.
Bye.